In honor of what should be a heck of a national championship game this year, we wanted to talk about some of the best buzzer beaters that we have seen in March Madness throughout time. So we compiled a list. We did the science. We took the time. We got together. We hypothesized and did all those other things to get to this point. And we feel like we've narrowed down what we think are the best ones, David.
I love it. I can't wait.
I love buzzer beaters.
Can't wait.
Haven't had a ton this year. Haven't had a ton of buzzer beaters in this tournament, even though this tournament has been absolutely wild. The most parity that we've seen ever. That's what led us to this crazy Final Four and now to this national championship matchup. Sure. All right, so to me, the best buzzer beaters are the ones of the most importance are the ones that win you a championship, that give you the whole thing, not just the first round upset, but the whole shebang you've been working for all year. And I think we all remember this one, all right, from 2016, Chris Jenkins and Villanova tied with North Carolina at the end. I love the call on this. Most recent one I can remember in a championship. Let's go ahead and roll the clip.
They go length of the court with Archie Diacono.
Great job by Diacono right here, whipping the ball back. The Jay Wright special. Bang. Does that play not look exactly like what Gonzaga did to UCLA?
Yeah.
It wasn't a buzzer beater, but it's the exact same play. Chris Jenkins for all the marbles. And if you remember, North Carolina had made some crazy shots to tie this game up. Looked like it was going into overtime, but Chris Jenkins and Villanova, one of the highest seeds to ever win the national championship, were able to do it. Jay Wright cemented himself as the legendary coach. That was a great one.
Hated seeing that happen to my Tar Heels, but they won the national championship the next year. I was there in Phoenix. That was a good time.
That was a hell of a
You're a North Carolina fan?
When Michigan's out there at the finish line.
Yeah, well, the thing about that is Marcus Page came down and they were down 3, hit the wildest.
Like it was like a clutch. Wasn't it like
a double pump 3 that he hit. And a funny story about that game, I was watching that game in Auburn, Alabama with one of my buddies who is a North Carolina fan, who's also a Panthers fan. If you don't remember that year, the Panthers went to the Super Bowl in North Carolina. They lost there in North Carolina.
Drubert? It was Drubert?
Yeah.
No.
Rough.
Oh,
that one hurts.
Rough.
That one's hurt.
It's hard to recover from something
that's
like that.
tough, man. What's next?
We got probably, in my opinion, the most famous buzzer beater of all time. Now, this wasn't to win a championship, but this was to survive, and anytime Duke does anything good, it gets regaled as the craziest thing that ever happened. But this was actually nuts. Grant Hill, an incredible pass. You talk about shots. This is a great shot from Christian Laettner, but Grant Hill went Joe Montana right here. Let's go ahead and roll the clip.
Shooting range.
Just a dot. Right to the free throw line. Turn it, burn it. That's how you earn it, baby. It's, again, hats off. Hats off. And this is part of the ascension and the story of Duke that kind of led them to where, the blue blood status now in college basketball. Laettner was one of the bad boys of the sport. Up to this day, one of the most hated guys. You can put him up there. Guys like Marshall Henderson and Grayson Allen. Speaking of Duke, Tyler Hansbrough, North Carolina. Nobody was a bigger villain than Christian Laettner.
Was Tyler Hansbrough hated?
Yes.
Was he hated?
Oh.
Was he? Well, that's an NC State fan in our ear.
No. Tyler Hansbrough was hated, but I've heard
just because I like North Carolina.
I've heard like Tyler
Grayson Allen's on a different.
There's hated in different ways.
Grayson Allen's on a different.
People hated Tyler Hansbrough because he get physical and somewhat bald. People hated Grayson Allen because he was out there tripping people.
Yeah.
So I think you can be. People hated Laettner kind of the same way Tyler Hansbrough. Laettner is a little bit more of a talker, but they'd get in the paint and try to play bully ball with you. But then you go to Duke and Grayson Allen when he's out here and he looks like, well, his dad invented the toaster strudel and he's in some frat and he's out here tripping kids.
But he balls.
But he balls. He's doing good. He's still in the league.
Grant Hill, I don't know if we talk about Grant Hill enough. He does a great job commentating. And in the commercials, too. In the commercials, he's funny. He handles his business. There's no controversies. I like Grant Hill.
It seems like Grant Hill's the type of guy that, he'll do all this stuff, but he wants to just chill. I don't think Grant Hill wants to get involved in, any of the crazy. You don't ever see Grant Hill getting involved in politics in sports. Yeah. He's more like, I'll see you guys next March. I'll be at the beach shooting jumpers. All right, here's the third one. Okay, and this is right up there with Laettner's. This is for a national championship. Remember, you had Phi Slamma Jamma playing NC State. This was supposed to be just an absolute beatdown after the game that Houston had played before. But Jim Valvano, the great Jimmy V, gave one of the most fantastic speeches you've ever heard. We still hear the Jimmy V Foundation through guys like Dick Vitale now trying to fight cancer. But he took this NC State team, another high seed, to win a natty in what, my opinion, I can't call this an alley-oop. You shot it and it was an air ball and boy bailed you out. Yeah. It was an air ball, but it goes down as an assist. Let's play it.
You can see the
6 seconds, panicking, shot, air ball, got it, put it in. Right place, right time.
He had no idea.
Right place, right time.
He had no idea.
Right. Again, that's what we always talk about, right? You do your work early. You get in that position to give yourself a chance to do that. And it's just so unfortunate for Houston, though, because you don't go up there if you're a defender. Even if you can tell it's going to be an air ball, what do? You let it be an air ball. Because the only way you can screw this up is by going up and grabbing it. And now they scream goaltending. Now you just blew it. So this is like in the worst position possible as a defender. Hit the rim, dog. That is the best, worst shot of all time.
If it misses long, NC State loses.
If it misses long, or if you just bobble it at all while you're trying to catch it.
You hate that for Houston. And then Houston this year, I thought Houston was a shoo-in for the Final Four. The Final Four in Houston this year, they were so good. Do you think if Sasser had been healthy throughout the tournament, that Houston would have gotten past Miami, or did that not play?
No, I think they just blew it against Miami. I mean, you had a double.
Miami's good, though.
Yeah, really look, Miami's really good. Look what they just did to Texas. They took out the whole state of Texas, basically getting into the Final Four, which just happens to be in Texas.
That whole region was Texas. Texas A&M was in that region, too, even though they didn't play Miami, but still.
Yeah. So, all right, the next one. All right, Jalen Suggs. This is the best Gonzaga team that Mark Few will ever have. I'll say it. Not that I hate Gonzaga, but they will never be this good again. This was their only team that could win it, and Jalen Suggs gave them a chance on a crazy shot. Let's go ahead and play the clip.
Gonzaga has time to do something. Suggs for the win.
So basically halfway between half court and the three-point line, Gonzaga will never win it because their guards aren't dog enough. But this team was the exception because you have Corey Kispert and Jalen Suggs. Kispert is eating for the Wizards right now. We know how talented Jalen Suggs is. Then you went and played that Baylor team with Davion Mitchell and all those monsters, and you got beat. But this was a hell of a game. Jalen Suggs was so much fun to watch.
Dude, this team was different, and I'm really surprised. Baylor won it that year, didn't they?
Baylor did, yeah.
I do think Gonzaga will win it sooner or later. I'm not going to sit here and deal in absolutes. Gonzaga does have talents, especially the bigs they bring through. But this game, Jalen Suggs, there's a certain guy in the tournament that you know. And that's not a good, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're UCLA, you got to live with that shot. You live with that shot 10 times out of 10.
That's very
Some
true.
guys, when it comes down to it, they don't think, they don't second guess themselves. They get to their spot and they put it up. And you kind of knew when this ball left his hands, this thing's going in.
Yeah, well, that's the guy about taking the shot. And look, typically I don't deal in absolutes, but in this situation, I will deal in an absolute while drinking something with absolute vodka in it. Gonzaga's absolutely not going to win a national championship.
I'm going to have to be a Gonzaga fan, I think.
Really?
You're going to turn me into a Gonzaga.
See, but
I
I'm not I don't hate Gonzaga, though. Like, it gets misinterpreted.
You hate Gonzaga.
No, I don't.
He hates Gonzaga.
No, I don't hate them. I just actually tell the truth about them. Nobody else will tell the truth about them. It's like I said in the show. They win a couple games early, and everybody just freaks out. You know, every basketball analyst there is about how Gonzaga, it's amazing. And then they go beat up on a bunch of 9-year-olds in conference and then make it to the Sweet 16 or the Elite 8 or whenever they run into a team that's just a junkyard dog, like Arkansas the year before, like Baylor in the national championship, like they got goat roped by UConn this year because UConn just pulled down their pants.
But you don't hate them.
Everybody in front of at the high school, but I don't hate them. But I'll call them out. They're Steven Glansberg, and I'll call them out for that.
Did they not leave a Capri Sun for you?
No, again,
They didn't leave
Orange
a Capri
slices?
Sun for
it's hard for me to have respect for a program whose parents still work at the concession stand and there's volleyball lines on the court.
You didn't get a Capri Sun. I got you. That's what it is.
Love Capri Suns.
They
All
are
right,
the best.
this next one, Bryce Drew, who's coaching now. He's bounced around a couple places, some high name, some not so much. This is his claim to fame. Ole Miss leading Valpo with 2.5 seconds. So you got to go full court, 2.5 seconds. This is another really good pass, and Bryce Drew absolutely went Johnny Cash on it. Let's play the clip. Full court. Nice little dump pass. Great catch, great kick. Bryce Drew.
Boom.
I'll see you tomorrow, fellas.
The passes are underrated.
The passes
they don't
are
get
so
talked
underrated.
about enough.
It doesn't start. We talk about quarterbacks more than anything in the NFL, but we don't talk about great.
Run that one again.
Yeah,
Run that
let's do it
one
one more
again.
time. You got the high jumper on the first one. I'm going to throw it high. There's my guy.
Touch
Make
pass.
the pass. Let it fly.
That's just nice.
That is nice.
That's nice.
That is nice. Tomahawked it. Valpo, claim to fame. Bryce Drew, claim to fame. Great basketball family. His brother is the head coach at Baylor. Yep, great basketball family. And then this one, Paul Jesperson. All right, Northern Iowa, who, if you remember the run that Northern Iowa went on with Ali Faroukmanesh, still one of the best names of it. He's out there just basically a dwarf with a mop top making people pay from the perimeter. Northern Iowa went on a great run. This is against Texas in the first round. Let's play the clip. There's 2.7 seconds, and we're all knotted up at 72. Let's play it.
Timeout in this situation.
Here he goes. Half court.
No way.
Bang!
I forgot that was a first round
Now that,
matchup. That was the 6-11.
First round matchup. When you go half court, like Blaine said earlier, you got to make that. That doesn't mean I can't somewhat put a hand, but if you're going to sidestep two guys and hit a half court shot to beat me, then y'all enjoy the second round. But it shouldn't have got to that point.
No.
That's my argument. Why did we let it get to that point? We let the basketball gods control what happened. Let's watch. Here we go. Houston and Michigan. Jordan Poole. I'm going to let you do this one.
Bring it.
I'm going to let you
pull it up. Pull it up.
Because this is a
2018. Michigan down by 2 to Houston. This is the 3-6 matchup. Go ahead and run this. Let's just see a young Jordan Poole here in the maize and blue.
This was such a great shot.
And
bang, bang.
splash. And splash.
That's cash.
Just like he's doing for Golden State.
He's pretty good.
This is why you set your feet before you shoot. Feet are set, shot. That gives you that extra half second, and it should have been a foul.
Yeah.
It really should have been a foul. This was a hell of a game. I know it was low scoring, but I remember watching this game. You talk about big shots down the stretch. It was big shot after big shot after big shot, and there's nothing better than at the end of a game where there's been a ton of big shots, you get the biggest shot of them all, and that's the buzzer beater.
Went all the way to the Final Four, had to take out Sister Jean and Loyola Chicago that year. I was present and accounted for in San Antonio. National championship, I kind of blacked out, after DiVincenzo was just hitting all those threes. I kind of...
Yeah, DiVincenzo.
My boy and I, we took off early.
Haru, the great white ninja.
Talk about the Warriors.
Congrats, Michigan. You made it to the championship. We're going to exit early here.
Yeah, well, now DiVincenzo and Jordan Poole are doing it together.
They are doing it. That's exactly
true. I
right.
forgot
And that's the story.
DiVincenzo.
And that's the story they never thought they'd write. But tell us, which buzzer beaters did we miss, or which one is your favorite or the best of all time? This is what makes the madness so mad and the greatness so great when it comes down to the greatest postseason sporting event in sports, in my opinion. I think these two agree with me, which is March Madness. We appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe. Turn that notification bell on so you can hear our buzzer every time we drop content.